Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This time what we're going to look at is one of my students, Thomas, came into me. He's into the Anjunadeep style music and he quite likes laying 8 and Cree or CRI, I think it is how you pronounce it. And on this week's video, rather than doing a how-to, I'm going to give you a track breakdown of something that we have created in the studio. I'm going to give it a little bit of a playthrough and then we're going to go through individual tracks and just see how that was made up. The track at the top left hand corner is called Lane 8 Style. There is a lot of channels in it. They're just folded down at the minute and we will go through those and show you what makes up the track. If you're into sort of Lane 8 music, the style is quite close. We'll show you what sort of MIDI notes we've used, what sort of sounds we've used, and break down the track. But we're going to start it from the start. Let's have a listen to it and go from there.
Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over.
So I'm going to skip past some of the breakdown here and have the build up.
And take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over.
Okay, so there we go. A little sort of Lane 8 style and Anjunadeep. This never happened track. And big shout out to Thomas for that, who sat with me for a couple of sessions just to get this sort of nailed down. Now there is a couple of things that we still need to go through, tidy up, but it's almost there. I think you would agree it sounds like that sort of style. I'm going to talk you through some of the elements. There are some little things that haven't seemed to come into the project as well. They're probably little snare fills and things like that. So I'm going to start from the top, and very basic, the type of kick that I brought into the track with Thomas. So this is the kick drum, and it's just 4 to the floor. It's sort of a solid enough kick. I didn't want it too high. I wanted it just to be, deep and to sit well with the bass line. So I'm going to solo some of these other sounds with it. The next thing that I want you to listen to is the bass, and it's split into two layers, and then we'll play that along with the kick drum. So here's the bass line here. And it's made up of 2 layers. So let's look at those layers. So I'm going to solo the first one. And these are sustained notes, just notes that are held. And that little pumping effect that you hear it's actually on the group channel itself here, is LFO tool. So it just ducks it and makes room for the kick. And as far as I'm aware, I tweaked a sample, a Leaving Laurel bass that I got a patch online from. There was a little bit of automation on it, which I had removed and filtered the cutoff down just so it's nice and deep. Now the next one on top of that is a little bit of a different rhythm, so I'm just going to have a look at the rhythm. And it follows the same notes as the sub bass, but it has a little bit of a different rhythm to it, so let's have a listen. And what I've done is I've cut some of the low energy out of this, just to make room for the sub bass, so that the sub bass sits in and around that range. And the actual lead sound that I've got on the Serum pack is called Lead Run, and it is a Lane 8 style sound. And when we play those both together, I'm going to play that with the kick drum now, just both basses together and the kick drum, and let's have a listen to them all together. Okay, so that's the kick and the bass together. It sort of sits well, it bounces well, and it has that sort of vibe. Now, to start off the track, we had to come up with a sort of a melody that repeats over and over again. Most of Lane 8's tracks have these memorable melodies. This is the melody down here. I'm just going to solo that for you, and we'll just have a look at it. And it's just an arpeggiated sound that loops over and over again. It doesn't actually change or do anything interesting or exciting. It's actually the chords and the bass changes within the track that actually make the track sound melodic. So I'm going to hit play here and let you hear that. I think this one was done with Vital. Vital is a free synth. It's very like Serum. It's free to download, so sign up and try it out if you haven't tried it out already. So let's have a listen here. I'm just going to let that play a little bit. And we can see there's a little bit of automation there where the filter cutoff opens up and it goes down again and opens up just before this drop. And a little bit of auto filter, that's more of a high pass later on. So what does that sound like with the bass line? So let's solo that, and we will solo the bass, and we'll start from the very start. And what you can hear then is the bass notes are what make it melodic. So let's have a listen. Yeah. actually bring in the kick with it to let you hear that. So once we had sort of those bass notes and those little chord progressions nailed down and that arpeggiated riff, we wanted to take some sort of vocal shot or vocal sample that would complement the other sounds that are already playing in that early stages of the track. So if I go back to the start here and just solo that on its own, which is just the vocal. And then it plays again. And all that is a vocal, I think, from Splice, from memory. It is edited or looped a little bit. I've just taken a sample and just looped a part of that. And I think that it works really, really well with the bass line. Let's just go back in there and just sort of see what processing was done. It's sort of heavily EQ'd there. And it has a Valhalla shimmer on it just to give it that airy feel. So I'm going to play the little vocal sample with the bass and also the melody itself. Okay. And let's have a listen to how those three work together. And it sort of doubles up and gets a little bit faster here. So at the start, it's a bit more spread out, and then it starts to get a little bit faster. And as this track starts to progress towards the breakdown, we start to see more elements come in, like the drums, the hi-hats and the shakers. Now, no melodic house track is complete without a vocal. And we just had a look through Splice, and this is just a Splice vocal that we've taken in and edited it. Now it sounds very, very rough, but it works well with the track. So let's have a listen with that vocal in there.
Take me into your arms
You can just hear that was cut a little bit too early.
and take me over. Take me into your arms.
As I said, we haven't finished it just yet, but it's thereabouts.
Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me over.
We're starting to hear those bass notes. And if I take those bass notes out, have a listen how empty it feels. Works really, really well with the track. So now we've got our little arpeggiator in, our bass notes are good, our little vocal samples here, and then the main vocal. And that's really the theme of the track. And from there, we've just sort of built a little arrangement around it. Now, I don't want to play and get a copyright strike. So the track is here that we sort of referenced. It's a CRI track. And you can, if you listen to the drums in that track, we tried to mimic those style of drums with the Lane 8 track, just to blend the two styles together. So we have, as it builds up, there is a little drum fill that sounds really, really good just before those drums drop. I think it's down here. It's in the effects section. Let's have a listen to that. That's all it is. So if I'm gonna highlight the drums now, and we'll go through what those drums sound like and how they build up. And that little sample just before, you'll see how impactful it is, even though it's just a little small fill for a beat or two. And we'll pop the kick drum in there. So we've got a little shaker hit down here. It's a shaker loop when we've just taken one hit from that loop, and we're playing it on the hi-hat on the off. And the rest are sort of garage loops and shaker loops. So let's have a listen to the garage loop on its own. It looks like more's playing there, but I've obviously taken some of the sounds out. Let's have a look and see. Yeah. So when we go to envelope mode and clips, we have only allowed those little claps to come through. So that little greeny bluey section is what we want to hear out of that loop, and that's a good thing about Ableton. We can go in and take out parts we don't like without slicing and removing them. So we have that little clap, snare, and then the hats, little shuffle with a bit of reverb. That's more of a shaker, and they're slightly panned, I think, just on the audio file itself and not on the channel. Okay, and a little shaker there, and then a little ride cymbal comes in later on, so I'll just solo that to let you hear that. And it's just on the actual kick drum itself, and we've just EQ'd that quite high and put a little reverb on it. Now the overall percussion group itself has erosion on it, and that's that gritty sort of sound you hear. So I'm going to play it back again and take that off so you can hear it. You can hear it's a lot more cleaner. Gives it a little bit more grit. Let's just roll off the extreme highs on it. Let's just have a listen into the breakdown now, because there's a couple of more elements. This is a little vocal sample here. Very lineate. I think I've just got that from a sample pack and taken a little section of it. And that works really well if we listen to that with the bass. Another sample, or another plugin that I want to look at, we've got a serum going on at the bottom here. Just take that back. And it's just a pad. Now, I have a trance gate on it. This is it here. It's from Kilohertz. It's part of a bundle that you get with Slate Digital. I'll just turn that off first of all and let you hear these chords on their own. And I did have it triggered by a gate, and it was nice, but the actual trance gate itself sounded better. So as it loops back onto the next section, I'm going to turn this on. And we also have a little bit of an LFO to dip that sound to the kick drum. So what does that sound like then with our little vocal sample and our bass line? Let's highlight those together. I'm just showing you how things are layered up throughout the track. Actually, not that sound, that's for just after. It's the bass sound. Let's have a listen. And then the main lead. This just sort of filters out over time as these leads start to take over. Now another main lead in the breakdown that complements everything else. It's sort of the main lead, the main melody, I suppose, and it's very, very simple. It's just a couple of notes, but the magic sauce to it is that the notes sort of overlap, as you can see there. And within Serum, you can push this knob up here, portamento, and that'll give you a glide effect between each note when they overlap. So let's hear it on its own as well. And when they don't overlap, they shouldn't bend as much. Bend a bit there. So what does that sound like all together now? If we put the arpeggiator over it, and then we put our gated pads over it, we put our vocal over it, and then we put our bass pad over it. And how does that sound in the build when those layer up? Now there's only 2 or 3, maybe 4 sections there, but it has a good impact. It creates a bit of tension just before the drop. So they all add up really, really nicely. The rest of the sounds within the track are really little crashes. Just so this here, little effects, a little down sweep, a crash. These were snares by the looks of it, but we haven't managed to bring that in. It's from a pack that I've moved the sample somewhere else on my hard drive, and it doesn't seem to have loaded in. And then of course we have our little drum fill. And if I just go, I think I went through everything. The percussion's there as well. Yeah, I've went through everything there. So I'm just going to play it from here in the drop and let it finish at the end, just to see how that all comes together.
Take me into your arms and take me over. Take me into your arms and take me
Okay guys, so there you have it. That is a track breakdown that I've worked on with one of my students. It's probably about 80-90% there. We could go back to work on it. It has been a while since we've opened that project, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different this week and do a track breakdown of something that we've been working on. We will get back to the how-to videos and start working up into more intermediate and advanced techniques. As the channel's quite new, I wanted to start off more beginner friendly. I produce lots of different styles. I work with lots of different clients. We do hip hop, trance, hip hop music, progressive house, techno, you name it. If there is something that you want to see us break down or produce, like another DJ or another style or another producer, just let us know in the comments. And also, I was looking at the stats of the channel. 70% of the people that have watched the streams haven't subscribed yet, so I really would appreciate if you could help the channel grow. And I promise as we get along, we'll get into more intermediate and advanced techniques and different styles of music. So until next week, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.